Torbitt, very good morning to you.
Morning.
This is an area that we can sort of squeeze in, I suppose, in addition to talking about the homeless problem in this country. You know, obviously many people who are homeless have got mental health problems. They'd probably like to work, some of them do. And do they get enough help? I don't know.
I think it's about what you do with the help and what sort of help it is. I think, particularly when we look at the welfare bill at the moment, which is just growing and growing, I'll upset some people. My nan used to talk about how people could sometimes be mollycoddled and aren't prepared for rejection and tough times in a way. And we need to normalise resilience a little bit. And I wonder whether some of the payments that are made in PIP and other sort of benefits for those that are suffering maybe more mild symptoms of anxiety could be diverted into, would they benefit from talking therapy more and other stuff to get them through that and then back into work and whatever else it might be.
I mean, this government talks about trying to do that, but I'm not sure they've got the right attitude to it, because they've said already that the people they're going to try and get back to work won't include those who say they're suffering from anxiety. And, you know, I get it. I mean, I've got teenage kids, you know, sometimes I rouse them about all sorts of things and say, you know, you've got to be more resilient. You've got to understand, you know, oh, I applied for a job, but I didn't get it, and, you know, I'm no good. It's like, well, no, you're not no good, you just didn't get the job. That's it. You know, go and get another job, go and try for another job, you know, try and just keep trying until such time as you get to succeed. And I don't know whether we were, I mean, you and I are not exactly the same age, but I mean, in my time, when I was a teenager, you just kind of kept going. You just going, well, all right, well, you don't like me, I'll go and try that guy over there.
That's what my mum used to say to me.
You know.
She says, if you don't ask, you don't get. You've got to put yourself out there. She says, if you're not out there, people don't know. And listen, it's hard. I've been on both sides. I'm one of the 1 in 4 that struggled with depression. You've been homeless, haven't you? I've been homeless. I struggle with depression. I think a big part of it is feeling like you've got a purpose. And I think that's where maybe the struggle begins, because you've not got a job. You maybe feel like you haven't got a purpose if you haven't got stuff outside of that and other things.
And it's easy then to get into that pattern of like, I haven't got a job, I don't have to get up, I'm just going to carry on. And also I'm getting a benefits system paying me not to work, and I'm all right.
And in many ways, because the benefit system is broken, it's in very unfortunate cases you can earn more, unfortunately, not working than you can do working. That's the travesty of it.
Right, exactly right. The story today is about the number of homeless people who died last year, apparently reached a record high, which is pretty shameful for this country, really, isn't it?
It is. I mean, it's 1,611, and the real kicker here is that's devastating on all levels, but 11 of those, that 11 were kids. I think 6 of which were babies and hadn't reached their first birthday. This is it's a travesty of human potential, Mike. These are human lives that could go on and do great things, and we'll never know, because we're resigning people to spending essentially their whole childhoods in many ways sat on the end of a bed in one room, eating their teas off their laps in front of a TV with nothing else to do. And there's got to be a better way of doing things than what we currently are now. I'm trying to preach housing first, which is what I do in my role as a senior fellow at the Centre for Social Justice. Centre for Social Justice have identified that you could double the amount of housing first places in this country from around 2,500 to 5,500 for 100 million quid between now and the end of this Parliament. The way you do that is scrapping civil service relocation funding. Civil servants can get paid up to 14 grand to relocate out of Whitehall somewhere else. The other way is to take 5.5% of the rough sleeping prevention and recovery grant and 20% of the homelessness transformation fund. That money's already there. The only bit you're taking that's new is essentially the civil service stuff. Housing First flips the current model on its head. What we currently do in this country is treatment first. So we can try and get you into accommodation, Mike. You're currently homeless, but if you're a squaddy with mental health issues, you need to go and get some counselling first, or maybe if you've got an alcohol or drug issue, you've got to kick that first. My argument is always, it's hard enough to do that anyway. It's maybe even harder if you're on the street. Therefore, Housing First does what it says on the tin. All you have to do is stay with the tenancy. The only stipulation is you have to maintain that tenancy. So we'll give you that shelter, you get that housing, you get that accommodation, and then you get the wraparound care to come with it. It's a dual process, and it works. So the last Conservative government, in fairness to them, put forward pilots, went on for 3 years in Manchester, Liverpool and the West Midlands. 80 to 94% success rate of people staying in those tenancies and some potentially moving on to private tenancies.
And of course you say that, you know, the money's already there, but, you know, when we see how much money we're spending, and I don't want to make it a either or, but the money we're spending on the migrants coming in who are being given hotel rooms and being, you know, we're spending billions and billions of pounds, millions of pounds, I think £6 million a day, I think we're spending on it, and you just think, you know, I don't say don't, you know, obviously they've I mean, I would rather we didn't have to do that at all, but, you know, find some money to help people in this country who are already suffering.
No, I agree.
Right?
And listen, this is literally, the money's already there. If you look at London in particular, I think it's £5 million a day on temporary accommodation. That's not just migrants, that's 130,000 families that are in temporary accommodation today.
Right.
And at the moment, the government has already spent close to £1 billion in just over 12 months.
Yeah.
There's 10% of that, and it's sticking plaster methods, whether that be increases to discretionary housing payments or making sure there's shelters during cold winter months. We need to be looking more long term, and the proof's in the pudding really with this sort of stuff. Worth noting as well, these developers that haven't wanted to build houses, if we had net zero migration since 2010, we'd still need 2 million houses.
Wow.
That's how bad it is. So if you have that increased pressure from immigration as well, it's even worse, obviously. But we need houses in this country.
Yeah, we do, absolutely. Apparently, I'm being told off. We're running late, terribly late. Matthew, sorry. Thank you very much indeed. Good to see you. It's a great cause. Senior Fellow at Centre for Social Justice. Check it out. More houses for the homeless, less houses for the bleeding migrants. Thank you. This is Talk.